and this is Kelsey Ken's Read. By the time this goes up, our YouTube will have been launched, so that is amazing.
Super exciting.
Yeah. What are you reading right now, Kens?
I'm like in the middle of 2 books, which I usually don't do physically. Like I usually have a physical book and an audiobook. But right now I have like a physical book, a audiobook, and a Kindle book going. Which I was an audiobook, but I'm planning on it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I'm reading In the Weeds by B.K. Borison, and I'm reading King of Greed by Anna Huang, which I'm both about like 10% on each one. But I really don't want to read on my Kindle. I started King of Greed first, but I had a really bad headache. So I was like, I'm gonna read on like a physical book.
Yeah.
Maybe like the light won't hurt my head. And I'm starting A Game of Gods tomorrow by Scarlett St. Clair. It's like the 6th book in I don't even know. I call it the 6th book. It's technically the 3rd book.
He did it again! Y'all.
Anyway, it is an interconnected series, but it's also connected to another series. But there's it's a Hades Persephone retelling series.
Yeah.
And one is through her POV, and the other series is through his POV. So you kind of like go back and forth between the 2 series. So this one's technically, in my head, book 6. So.
That makes sense. That's the A Touch of Darkness series.
Yeah. So this is the one that came out last year, and book 4 of the Persephone series comes out sometime this year. So I'm like, I gotta catch up. So.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so many. How are you? For those of you who don't know, I read King of Greed a couple days ago. Was that last week? Did we talk about it last week?
No, but you did finish it last week.
Yeah.
We talked about it, but we didn't talk about it.
We talked about it.
Yeah.
We, as a collective, have not talked about it, which we will when you finish.
Yes,
oh my God.
Yes. I love her writing. So I think I'm on chapter 6 or 7. So I'm ready to see some groveling, for sure. But I can already tell I'm gonna like it because it's kind of that, and I mean I can talk about it a little bit later because it's on my list. But it's kind of that she's feeling neglected, and he's like neglecting her because he's doing everything for her. That kind of that vibe, like everything he's doing, everything like his success, it's all for her, but he's neglecting her and their marriage. So I'm excited.
Yeah. I was crying within the first 10 pages, just soft tears.
I definitely could see what made you cry.
Yeah,
I was like reading it. I was like, oh,
I could cry.
That got me emotional. So I was like.
Y'all, we can't figure out why this thumbs up keeps popping up. It won't do it when we try, but when she's like,
when I talk with my hands, it's like, oh, thumbs up, go you, proud of you.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh my God. So, what are you reading? I saw you finished a book last night, or this morning.
Yeah, so I finished Between the Blue by Nikki Witt, which we talked about her last episode because that's one of Ken's favorite booktubers, and she has a few books. And I followed her on Instagram, and she kept posting about it, and I was foaming at the mouth. I needed to read it, what she was posting. And so after I finished Crescent City 3, which we'll talk about, I immediately started reading that, picked it up, and did not stop reading until 3:30 this morning. So if I am a little delusional, a little delulu today, it's okay. You know why. I'm barely hanging on. But also, I have finished a cup of coffee, so we'll see where that gets me. But right now, I don't know what to read, because it's after you finish a book that really sucked you in, it's a little bit of a book hangover. So yeah, I have a couple options. So I have February TBR, and a few of them are Butcher and Blackbird, blah blah blah, Butcher and Blackbird. Heartstopper Volume 1 from Blood and Ash, and then we actually have book club tonight. So maybe I'll read a book club pick. So I don't know. What are your opinions, Kens? What do you think I should read?
I'm biased. I want you to read from Blood and Ash. But
yeah.
I don't know. I've also thrown in a bunch of books for book club that I want people to read with me. or they're like reads of my favorite books.
Yeah.
Like I've I sent you 20 books last week or last
week.
And I'm like, so maybe I'll read one of the books I want you to read this month.
Yeah. Maybe some of the books that are on your 24 for 2024 will be read as a buddy read for book club.
Oh, yeah, I think I did submit at least 3 of these.
Yeah. I saw. For our book club, I kind of do all the behind the scenes stuff. So when we have a Google form. I'm very type A. So we have a Google form, of course, where people submit what they want as a book club book. And then I take all those suggestions and put it in the wheel of names things. And then when we're in our book club meeting, when we pick a book, we let it spin. So that's why Ken's I submitted so many books. And I'm like, I know, I saw them all. If y'all have any suggestions for what I should read next, let me know in the comments below. So we kind of got a little ahead of ourselves when we were talking about our books, because this week, if you haven't already known by the title, is 24 books for 2024. So we split it up, so we did 12 and 12, but made sure none of them overlapped, so it's still 24 books total, and we're just gonna kind of alternate and give our lists. My first one, I already finished it, but when I wrote this, I had not. So my first book is Crescent City 3, House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. I will write anything, or I will read anything she writes. This is a fantasy romance. It's the 3rd book in the Crescent City series, so I can't share literally anything.
Yeah, true. You can't.
So, and I won't share my rating. If you want, you can check out my Goodreads to check it out, but I will read anything she writes.
I haven't started it yet. I have the Kindle version.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just I don't know. I finally finished Iron Flame, and I think I need a not heavy fantasy book right now. So I'm going to wait a little bit, even though I'm dying to read the book. Yeah. I want to read it at the right time. So I'm postponing it just a little bit. Well, my first book is King of Greed. It's part of Anna Huang's King of Sin book. Book 3, as I said before, it's contemporary romance. It's adult. Second chance romance. It's about Dominic and Alessandra. It's a neglected marriage. She wants out, and he's willing to do anything to keep her. I'm 10% in. Super excited to finish it. I literally usually finish her books in one sitting. And I don't know why. I do know why. I was not in the mood to read this book when it came out, which is why it has not been done yet. So
yeah,
it should be done by the end of the week. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, now that you're reading 3 books at once.
On how much I alternate between the 2.
Yeah. No, there's something about Anna Huang's writing that there's crack in it. It's so good.
I love her books.
Yeah.
Literally all of them. The only ones that I haven't finished in one sitting were her bigger books. The last 3 of the Twisted series, because they're a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But
that's
so good.
Yeah.
So good.
I need to read the rest of that series. And then King of Sloth comes out this year too. I have it pre-ordered.
when's it come out? June?
I think so.
June. That's why I'm feeling June. I could be wrong.
I'm just feeling June. There's something in the air.
Does Striker come out this year too?
Does it? I think
or is
it
that
might.
2025?
Oh.
I don't know.
Stay tuned on that. That'll be a good video. That would be a good video to film, is anticipated releases for this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Let us know
I
if you want to
definitely-
see that.
I definitely have some.
My next book is a classic, Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. This centers on 4 sisters during life in New England during the Civil War. I don't know why I haven't read this yet. We talked about this in our first episode of the Portraits of Little Women. I think that's what it ended up being called. But I loved the 2018 movie with Florence Pugh, Saoirse Ronan, Emma Watson, Timothy Chalamet, my boy. It was so good, and I have the book. It's sitting down there, not in the flames, but like
Not in the flames.
there's all sort of fake candles, by the way. But I'm really excited. It just shows like sisterhood and just. It's a very coming of age, I want to say. Now I want to watch the movie. I think I'm going to make Brady watch the movie with me tonight.
My next book is In the Weeds, which I'm currently reading.
Also
As well.
currently reading. Just getting a head
And
start on
it's
the list.
currently right here. It is the second book of the I don't know if it's called the Love Light series or the Love Light Farm series. I've seen it called both. But it's book 2.
Yeah.
It's contemporary romance. I consider it new adult, second chance romance. It's about a social media influencer and a farmer. They met at a conference like in August, and they meet again in November. But she has a habit of leaving, and she leaves again. And he's, determined to move on. She's struggling with work. She's not happy, and she wants to find her place again. So she ends up going back to the farm. So I love her writing. Love her writing.
Now is In the Weeds, because BK Borison does it like seasonal, right?
Yeah.
So
This
Love
one,
Light was...
Think is the fall.
Okay.
Spring. I don't know. Honestly, because I would consider this fall.
Yeah.
But the Mixed Signals book, which is the next book in the series, I also have. It looks more spring. It's like a lighter orange. Different shade flowers. But this book, like right now, it's March. So I don't know. I'll let you know.
Yeah. I'll put it on the screen what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. My next book is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. This is a literary fiction that follows 2 friends over like decades. So it's like a long time span. And they create a video game together. That's what I've heard. I know this was really popular this year / the year before that. A lot of bookfluencers read it and highly, highly talk about it. So I want to read it. I know there's some romance, but it's like a very little subplot of it. So
I've heard a lot of good things about it. I tried to get McCartney to read it because I keep trying to push reading on him. And
yeah,
I'm like, look, it's about a video game.
Yeah,
because he loves Ready Player One, and so I was like, it's a video game.
Yeah,
but obviously
I'll let you know.
Read it, nor do I know anything about it besides that it's 2 friends who created a video game.
Yeah. Oh my god.
He said no. So mainly, I wanted the cover. I just wanted the cover.
It's so pretty. I don't have it with me. It's still in North Carolina, which I'll have to tell you the updates on the moving situation because there are updates, but I will tell you off camera.
Yeah.
But we were at a Quail Ridge Books in Raleigh. I love that bookstore, but they had a signed copy of it, and I was like, give me it. So I have her. I'm not gonna read that edition though. I'm just gonna get it on my Kindle or something.
Yeah.
Or rent it from the library.
Libby.
I have to get my new library card because I'm still using my North Carolina one. Don't tell them.
My next book is A Kingdom Is Cruel and Empty by Stasia Stark. It is book 2 in the Kingdom of Lies series. Mm-hmm. I don't know if this series has like blown up yet. I think it came out in 2022. Maybe like the first book. There's 4 books already, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Or at least 3, and the 4th one's coming out soon. Something like that.
Yeah.
But my sister had sent me a TikTok and it was like, if you love Fourth Wing, read these books.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, ooh, and it was available through Libby, so I listened to the first one. The others, they're all on Kindle Unlimited. But it's romantasy, it's fae and humans, it's adult magic systems. Basically, everybody's born with power, and when you're a human, they take your power away from you to give as like a gift to the gods, because they protect them at their borders from the fae. But basically, some babies end up keeping their powers, and they're known as the corrupt, and if they find out that you are corrupt, you are killed. And then on
the babies.
And then on your 25th birthday, you get your power back, but you're assessed, because some people are really good at hiding that they have magic, but they have like specific people who can read that if you have magic.
My brain is like exploding while you're
so basically, you don't want to be corrupt.
It sounds like it.
But it is, so you're given your power back at 25, but only a portion of your power. But to me, this book, I don't know why they said Fourth Wing, if you like Fourth Wing, because it's not a school or anything. Like, it's not giving me Fourth Wing vibes. 100% giving me From Blood and Ash vibes, Tog vibes. Like, basically, like, there's something going on as to why your kingdom is run this way. But the first book was so good. So I will be starting this one very soon on my Kindle.
Yes, that does sound good. That does sound really good.
Yeah, I think you would like it.
I'm pretty much gonna add all of your books onto my list, so that way I can read them all.
Hey, then I have somebody to talk to about them, so that's great.
Fair enough. Fair enough. My next book, y'all. Oh my god. Oh girl. My next book is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is a romantasy. I had the synopsis. I tried to condense it and like give a very loose thing. Basically what I got is that Poppy is the main girl. And you have been trying to get me to read it for so long. I was like, I don't even know how to condense this, because it's like 3 paragraphs long is the synopsis on Goodreads. So I'm like,
okay, hold on, let me try. Okay, so you have this. Poppy is the maiden for this kingdom, I guess.
Question mark.
Leaving. She's like leaving. She is living.
She's leaving.
I don't know what I don't remember if he's like a duke. I don't know tiers of power. In kingdoms. Okay. But he's basically living with like right-hand man for the queen, or one of them. And she's the maiden. She's going to save their kingdom from this plague that is going on. But she is basically being trained by a guard, one of her guards, and they kind of go and give peace to the people who have the plague. And oh god, I don't know how to say this next part.
Potential spoiler warning?
No, I'm trying really hard not to spoil anything for you. I don't know, I have none of this as a spoiler.
Girl, you just spoiled the whole series for me. That's like book 8.
It's in like the first book. This is all everything I have said is in the first book, but I don't.
I'm gonna try and flush this.
I feel like I knew going into the book. It's a good book, and I know not everybody loves this book. I definitely would say I think the first book is a world building book. So I try to convince people at least not to give up on the first book, like after the first book.
Okay.
If you didn't like it, at least try the second book, and then if you don't like it, then I'm like, okay, you gave it a fair shot. It's like one of those books like ACOTAR or Throne of Glass where you're building up, you're learning things that are going on in this world. So my next book is The Goal by Elle Kennedy, Off Campus series number 4. It is a college hockey romance, contemporary, new adult. It is about Sabrina James and John Tucker. And I guess it's not really a spoiler because it's on the back of the book.
It's not. Yeah.
And you find out in book 3, but it is a surprise pregnancy/pregnancy trope. And what I gathered from like the back of the book is it's basically like Tucker wants to like work together to, you know, they're young, they're 22, like they're going to be parents. He's trying to get her to work with him on, you know, basically being a family and like figuring out all of that and whatnot. And she's very closed off and whatnot. So that's what I got on the back of the book. I'm super excited for his book. I love his character, so.
Yeah. I love that series.
Me too.
I do need to read The Goal too. I'll read it with you when you started.
Yeah, let's buddy read that book.
Yes. I'm like currently, I feel like in a hockey romance era again.
Girl, say no more.
After finishing Between the Blue. You recommended, was it Offside?
No, Behind the Net. Behind the Net, right?
Behind the Net. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I read that one already.
But read the second one. Way better.
Is it?
Yeah, okay. I liked the first one a lot, but there were parts that were cringy to me in the first book that I don't necessarily think you get in the second. I liked the second book 10 times more. And I think
maybe
that's Behind the Net like a 3.5, and I gave that book like a 4.5. Like I loved it. Okay. So you should read that one.
Added it to my list. Not this list, because then this video would be too long, and it wouldn't make sense. My next book is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. This is a romance, LGBTQ+, young adult graphic novel. And I've heard so many good things about the book and the TV show. Shaughnessy Schroeder, she is one of the booktubers I love, but she was raving about it. And she was like, graphic novels are just so nice to break up like the monotony of books. And just like if you're looking for something quick to read, because graphic novels, I feel like, I mean, I've never read one, but I feel like they're going to be quick to read. You know what I mean? Because it's like a cartoon. It looks really sweet, so I put it in the wheel for book club.
I love the covers of those books. Every time I go to Target, I'm always like, because they're always front and center. And I'm like, oh, they're so pretty.
Yeah, they are so pretty. And the TV show looks good too, and I've heard amazing things about it. So of course I have to read the book first. If there's a book
TV
first.
show on?
Netflix.
My next book is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. YA, romantasy, dystopian, tension-filled book from.
Oh my god.
So my understanding is you have the elites that are born with powers that were gifted by a plague, which is a sickness. And then you have the ordinaries who are born without powers. They were banished from the kingdom assuming that they were killed if they were found within the kingdom, or were they just killed?
Killed. If they were found.
So they weren't like
just
banned.
Killed.
So even if they were banished.
What is that?
So if they were banished and they were found within the kingdom, they're killed. Mm-hmm. But if they're not, if they're where they're allowed to be, they're not killed, right? Or are they just killed?
I think they're just killed. I can't remember 100%.
The book said, the back of the book said banished, but then like, you know, it's when Kai is like, I've like been hunting her or whatever, like she's I hunt or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, Payden, right? Yes. Payden, is a ordinary. She saves a prince, and she's thrown into these purging trials, which I'm assuming is like the Hunger Games.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much.
The elite's powers. And I don't know what prince she saved. But I know she's like thrown into these trials, and Prince Kai is in these, and I know it's tension filled because they shouldn't like each other, right?
Oh my god. I love this book.
I love the book cover. Love the book cover. And a lot of the people that we watch on YouTube are like obsessed with this book. So
yeah.
And I know you were texting me being like, I'm literally giggling. So
I'm like kicking my feet. I'm like freaking out right now just talking about it. I'm like, oh my god, I'm foaming at the mouth.
So yes, this is high up on my list of books to read. I go through in and out of when I want fantasy books, but since her new book's coming out this year, I feel like I need to read it soon. So.
Well, she has 2 new books coming out, she announced.
Yeah, she's got that novella.
Novella. Have I pre-ordered them? Yes. My next book is another classic, because I want to read at least 2 classics this year, but like classics that I'm going to like. So I have The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. This is, again, a classic sci-fi dystopian. From the back of the book, it looks like it's set in modern times, but obviously dystopian. Women only serve in society as childbearing humans, so it follows the main character who essentially is just a vessel for this important dude, where he tries to impregnate her. Like, they're only seen as objects in that vessel. And it's set like in the future, but it goes back and like there's flashbacks to life before then, because the woman that is like the main character, she still remembers life from beforehand when she had a husband and everything like that. So
that's insane.
It's insane. And what's crazy is I was talking to my friend Kira about it, and she was like, I don't want to read it because I feel like that's something that could happen in our society. And I'm like,
why would she make that up?
I know, and I'm like, what I'm like, that is wild, but I'm still gonna read it because that is also a TV show, and I've heard it's really graphic.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna be really intrigued to see or hear from you, like, the difference between the book and the show. I've been so close to starting the show so many times, but like I've heard it's like really graphic and like really intense, so I'm gonna be intrigued to see if that was just like a liberty they took, or if the book's like that.
I guess I will let you know. I will let all of y'all know. Stay tuned for updates.
My next book is Bad Girl Reputation by Elle Kennedy. It's an Avalon Bay book number 2. If you can't tell, I'm trying to really finish some series or catch up on some series. It
sounds like it. Yeah.
So this is a contemporary romance. It's an adult book, second chance. This follows Genevieve, who is the former bad girl, and Evan Hartley, who is her ex-boyfriend. It's a small coastal town. So basically, she returns home for her mom's funeral, and she ends up staying temporarily to help her dad run his shop. And once he finds somebody to help him, she's ready to leave. And she's basically determined to change, like, no partying, no whatever, And Evan is determined to like convince her that she should stay, that they are a good couple. So very much second chance. I don't know if I might wait till the summer to read this book because it's very much a beach read.
Okay.
But I loved the first book. I ate that book up. So, and there
That's
is a
Good
third
Girl
book
Complex, right?
that came out last year. So.
Okay.
So. Yeah, you should read Good Girl Complex.
You said that's Elle Kennedy, right?
Yes.
Ugh, queen. My next book is City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. This is a sequel to City of Bones in the Mortal Instruments set of the Shadowhunter universe. There's like different like groupings. So I can't say a lot. Yeah, I can't say a lot because obviously it's a second book and it's following what happened. It is young adult, it is fantasy romance. It's set in like modern day New York City. Okay. And so I think it came out when we were in like middle school, so it's modern day to that era of time. Okay. So it's not like modern day right now, but this was one of those book series that came out when we were like middle high school that I just never read. And I've seen Rachel Catherine on YouTube talk a lot about how much she loves that series. And so I read the first one. I liked it. The twist at the end was a little like, ooh, don't know how I feel about that. So I'm interested to see how it plays out. But I like her writing. She's a really good writer.
So my next book is Trial of the Sun Queen. It is book 1 of the Artifacts of Oranos by Nisha J. Tooley. So this is a newer book. I don't know quite when it came out because I know book 2 is already out, but I saw them together for the first time at Target. So I don't know when they came out. But this is The Bachelor meets Hunger Games vibes is what I'm understanding of this book. You have 10 women who are in this contest to win the Sun King's heart, basically be his queen, but they're like a deadly trial, in a way is my understanding of this. So the main character Lore is I think she's a prisoner of the Aurora King, so a different kingdom or a different court. And she ends up just randomly freed one day, but is pushed into this competition. But now, like, she's the one that they all want out because she's not a part of this court. And they're like, who is this girl? Like, who does she think she is? Yeah. Type thing. So basically her choices are win this or die or be returned to the Aurora King, and she is so destined to get away from him. So that is what the back of the book says. I am super excited. The book covers are beautiful.
Yeah.
So the first one's gold, really pretty, but I'll let you know. I believe this is her debut novel.
Okay.
I have not heard of this author before. If she has more, I'll probably end up reading them. So.
My next book, branching out a little bit, is also part of my goal this year to read a couple nonfiction books. So my next book is Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner. It is a nonfiction memoir, and in a brief synopsis, very brief, it's a memoir about her growing up Korean American and finding her identity. It deals with grief and just all the nuances that come with, not being a typical white person, in America, and what she's had to deal with. And so I'm excited to read it. I've heard good things about it. So yeah, stay tuned.
My next book is Savage Lover. This is part of the Brutal Birthright series. Is book number 3. It's written by Sophie Lark. It is a bully mafia romance. It's dark romance. It's an adult romance. Basically, it follows one of the brothers of, I want to say it's the, like, Irish gang. I know the first book's like Irish and like Italian mafia.
Ooh.
I wanna say he's the brother in the Irish. I don't remember. Don't quote me on it.
I will not.
Yeah. But basically it follows Camille Rivera and Nero Gallo. He's a playboy. They lived next door for years. So basically what my understanding is, this girl's way in over her head. Too much going on in her life, and she's basically like drowning with being overwhelmed. Nero saves her from something, and I guess this sparks this friendship, romance, whatever it is. And basically she's like, okay, is falling for him the worst thing she could ever do. So I'm intrigued. I love Sophie Lark's writing. I'm ready to get back into my Mafia era, and when I do, I will probably finish the series because I think they're so.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But the first two were so good.
Yeah.
But it is on my list to finish this whole series this year. So.
Yeah, I have The Brutal Parents on my bookshelf back here. So.
Yes, I guess she redid her covers, and because they're not that new, but like books. But I want all of her new covers. They are so pretty.
It's the white one with like.
Yeah,
that's the copy I have.
I've read them all on Kindle.
My next book is Reckless by Lauren Roberts, the second book of the Powerless trilogy. So Ken's already talked about Powerless before, but again, romantasy, young adult. It doesn't feel young adult though. Like I was like, I'm getting like goosebumps thinking about this series. I'm obsessed. Literally, I can't say anything about this book because it is a huge spoiler, but literally in our Google Doc that we have our kind of bullet points in, all I wrote for the synopsis of this book in all caps was holy shit. Like I'm speechless, and that is all I'm going to say about Reckless. I have it pre-ordered on Barnes with the regular cover because I ordered it immediately after I finished Powerless, and then she announced that she had her special edition with it, so I pre-ordered that one as well. Girl, this is one of those books that I'm going to collect. She also did another renew or no
cover.
They sold out of the Barnes special edition of Powerless with the pink flowers, and a restock. They restocked it, so I also pre-ordered that because I got into that book after the edition sold out. Yes.
Okay, let's see. My next book is what is it? Twist of the Blade. It is Shadow and Crown series number 2 by S.M. Gaither. This is a romantasy, enemies to lovers, new adult. I could not read anything about the synopsis because it is a major spoiler. So I'll just tell you a little bit about book 1 and kind of give you a little bit about the world that we're in. So you have the main girl. Her name's Cassia Greythorn. She's a mercenary, and I want to say she's like an orphan, and she goes and like lives with this lady, and she basically helps all these other kids, and they grow up together, and they are like a team of mercenaries. So they go out and do missions and tasks for other people, and they get paid. So once they complete it, they get money. So they live in this kingdom that is ruled by this king, and they're obviously this king, and there is a new plague that's like devastating the entire empire. So the king hires her to investigate it, and as she's like on this mission, because she goes alone, I believe, if I remember right. She goes alone, and she's working with Captain Elander. She goes alone, and all these monsters start to like wreak havoc across their realm. And you've come to find out that like there are meddling gods and very old magic that are interfering with everything. So the ending is a major plot twist. And what I was not expecting. Very Throne of Glass vibes. I know. Which is why I was hooked, and I have not heard anybody talk about this book. I don't know if it's because it's an older series, and that's why, but like nobody's talking about this book, and I was like, I'm hooked. Interesting. I could not find it anywhere because it was just a book that was on Libby that was like recommended to me or whatever. So I was like, oh sure, I'll listen to it. I didn't really know what I was in the mood for. I became so hooked to this book, and I was like, I could not find it anywhere. Now it's on Kindle Unlimited. If it wasn't already, I don't know why I couldn't find it. But I already have it. It's like in my library that I'm like, okay, you are reading this book this year.
Yeah.
But oh God, just because I want to know, like the ending was just so like, holy crap.
Yeah. That does sound good.
And I think there's like 6 books, so.
Oh my.
Yeah, and nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about it.
I'll read it so we can talk about it.
Yeah, I've like tried to force my sister to read it. I'm like, please read this book. Like, please, somebody go read this book.
Yeah. My next book is Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. This is classified as a romance, but I've heard take that with a grain of salt because it's very much not your typical happy romance that is like in this typical structure. This is very much Gossip Girl-esque drama. So you're gonna be angry, you're gonna be sad, and if y'all have not heard about Magnolia Parks, I don't know how, because it is quite literally blown up this year. Because I know the third and final. Yeah, and I'm just chilling. Like, I want to be a part of that. I want to talk about it too. But it sounds so good. And the third and final Magnolia Parks book came out, but she also has Daisy Hates that kind of intertwines with it. And I think she also has another characters that is going to come out. I think that's what I heard. Or am I getting Binding 13 mixed up with that? I don't know. That's also another book. Not on my list, but Binding 13 I want to read this year.
But yeah, let me know if you like either of those.
I will.
Because I don't think either of them are on my list this year.
Your radar for just anytime
that I'll
soon.
actually read.
Yeah.
Okay, my next book is A Soul of Ash and Blood. This is book 5 of the Blood and Ash series. I cannot say much about this book, especially since you have not read any of them.
Yeah.
But this is by Jennifer L. Armentrout. It's a romantasy, vampires and humans, new adult. You're just, I'm hoping that you like the book enough to continue to where you'll get to like one of my favorite scenes. But this book is told by the, I don't even want to give away something, so I'm just going to say it's the, what is it? MMC. It's in his POV. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Yes. I bought this book when it came out, and I've just been putting it off. But, because I do
Not
that
this
with
year.
Books.
This is the
I
year.
do that with books that I am like super highly anticipated books. I put them off because I'm scared I'm going to hate them. So I will not. So I will not read them when like they're super like hyped up or like when they first come out. Like I'll tell myself that I'm gonna read them, but I don't because I'm so scared I'm gonna hate them.
Oh no! But then you hear other people's opinions, and that might sway yours.
That is true because that definitely happened with oh god. Lucian's book. What is that book?
Oh, no. Things We Left Behind? No. Yes.
Oh my god. I just was, like, I read that one on my Kindle, but I have the physical book, and I went through and, like, tabbed everything that I highlighted in that book.
Yeah.
It's probably the most tabbed book I own.
Wow.
Now, granted, I have not tabbed any of my Throne of Glass ACOTAR books.
Okay. Yeah.
But that book is my most tabbed book. So... yeah. I'm like, okay, so I did like this a lot more than I thought because everybody was hating on it. So
I liked it. I wish it took a different route? Yes. Or that we saw more? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I did enjoy it. I liked it better than the second.
I know like a lot of people were saying that, and might be a spoiler, I don't know. People were saying that it was like their chemistry was too physical. And I don't know, I didn't really see that. Like, I didn't think that.
Yeah.
But then again, I read spice books, so I don't.
You're like, girl, that was vanilla.
Yeah, but I just was like, no, I loved their, like, I don't know, I loved their dynamic. So maybe it's just me.
Another book that has been long put off, and one of the, like, I wouldn't say original book talk books, is Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Fantasy, historical fiction, Greek mythology retelling about Achilles, obviously. Again, I've just been putting it off. I heard I will cry, and I'm here for it. But I'm excited. I love Greek mythology. So I'm finally reading Percy Jackson this year, or I already have, and continuing that, and now Song of Achilles. I read Circe by her, and that was really good. And I love her writing. It's very, like, I don't know how to describe it.
She's got kind of, like, lyrical writing. But it also could just be, like, how she's writing. Like, the time frame.
Yeah.
I loved that book. It definitely made me super emotional. I listened to it because it was on Libby. I love Libby.
Yeah.
Libby's the best. The amount of audiobooks that I've gone through because of Libby. I loved it. It was beautiful, and it was, you know, I feel like I'm also a nerd for Greek mythology, but I guess I've never fully gone into, like, actually, like, learning everything about it, because, like, you learn about it in history class for a little bit, but they don't tell you a lot, like, certain things that, like, maybe you didn't know. Like, I loved that book. Thought it was beautiful. I did get very emotional. I don't think I cried, but beautiful book.
Yeah. So, that I'm excited.
My next book is A Shadow in the Ember. This is Flesh and Fire #1 by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is, my understanding, this is the prequel series of From Blood and Ash. This deals with the gods of the world. So you are getting the story of why the world is how it is my understanding. It is super confusing. Double check when you go buy these books, if you buy them, because Flesh and Fire is the name of the second book in From Blood and Ash. So the book titles and the covers are so similar. But I was, like, buying the books, I was getting super confused. So
oh my god.
So just like double check the series. They also like the series on the cover. But I've been putting this book off. I have the first 2 books of this series. But yeah, I need to read it. So it's the prequel.
My last book is Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I've just been putting this off. I don't know what it is. It's a young adult romance, her first young adult book. And it's chess and love. From my understanding, the main girl stopped playing chess because I guess it interfered with her family. I guess I'll see how that happens. I don't understand that. But then she beats, like, the king, like, the popular popular chess boy who's, like, really so I guess it's their story. I have heard that this is more, it shouldn't be a young adult book, or
I've heard it's
like a later young
almost like new adult, but
so we'll see. I have that too. I have that back there, I think.
I haven't read that one. I don't know. I've read the synopsis a bunch, and I love her books. I just don't know if that one's for me, if I'll read it. My last book is Hurricane Wars by Thea Guanzin. This is a romantasy. It's enemies to lovers. It kind of gives Shadow and Bone vibes. Basically, you have Taliesin, who's an orphan. She lives in a nation that's under siege of the Night Emperor. And she is a soldier fighting for freedom, and she's got this like found family with all these other soldiers, but she's got this deadly secret that she has light magic, and light magic can cut through the Night Emperor's shadow. Well, the Night Emperor's son, Prince Alaric, it's his only son, his only heir. He's basically his dad made him into this weapon to remove all threats, and he sees her on the battlefield wielding this light magic, and they both know that the war's only going to end with them, so I'm assuming they were going to fight. And then you have this strange new magic that appears, and they suddenly have to form an alliance to get rid of this new magic. So I'm excited to read it. Maybe it'll get picked for book club. I don't know.
That is also submitted.
Yeah. But yes, that is our last book.
That is our 24 for 2024. I think we should film a video at the end of the year seeing how many of these we read. I think that would be a good follow-up. Let us know if you want to see that.
Yeah, I'd be down to do that. Good little check. Like, hey, we did this.
Yeah. You're like, hey, I read none of these books.
Anyway, thank you for watching our video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Our socials will be linked below. And we will see you next time.